Hey, what's up, Superman fans, or should I say Superman Batman fans? Because unless you've had your head in the sand for the past week, you've heard about the big announcement about the Superman Batman movie. Now, if you hadn't heard about this, let me give you a little context. Comic-Con was last week, and they came out. Warner Brothers had a panel where they brought Zack Snyder, the director of Man of Steel, and Henry Lennox, the guy who played the general in Man of Steel. They both came out and they made this announcement about the sequel of Man of Steel 2, and basically they hinted at making a Batman Superman movie. So as you can imagine, the internet blew up. There was a lot of excitement going around. But I wanted to give a little context on it. Let's talk about that a little bit today. So my initial reaction to hearing about this past weekend was, my first thought was, for about an hour or two, I was really frantic. I was like, really? Superman, Batman? Like, you know, Henry Cavill just did Man of Steel. You got to give this guy a chance to establish the character a bit more. They've rebooted Superman, so there's a lot more things to explore about his nature, his character, and I think those things need to be told. And, you know, it was just so many things in Man of Steel that could have been explored, all the Easter eggs and stuff that they put in there. So I was frantic for about an hour or two, and then it hit me. I was like, oh my God, this idea is absolutely genius. Put Superman and Batman, the two biggest superheroes, put them in a movie together. Let them do whatever it is they're going to do, and let that spawn a Justice League movie. Maybe add some cameos or some ideas or Easter eggs from some of the other DC characters, namely Wonder Woman and Flash. Because I'll talk about Wonder Woman a little bit later, but I really think that's something that they should go ahead and explore. But my whole thought now is like, this is absolutely genius. Put these two characters in the movie together, make something work and let them spawn the Justice League from this movie. Absolutely perfect idea. Okay, so let's talk a bit about some of the things that this movie could actually mean and some of the things that go along with the challenges and the advantages of having this movie. The first thing to me that comes to mind is the title of the movie and what they're going to call it. Now, if they're going to call it a Batman Superman / World's Finest movie, that means one thing. Or if they're going to call it a Man of Steel 2 or a sequel to Man of Steel, that's going to mean another thing. Namely, if they go with Man of Steel 2 or Man of Steel whatever sequel, it's probably going to mean that Superman is still probably going to get the most screen time in the movie, that he's going to be the key character in the movie, and this will probably just be a continuation of Man of Steel, the first one. And they'll probably just add Batman and some scenes and, have these two meet each other for the first time or something like that. Now, if they go with World's Finest or Superman Batman movie, that's a whole different context. Both characters are going to have to probably have some equal screen time to make this movie work. And I think that's probably the route that they may end up going. I think that's probably more what was hinted at Comic-Con with the whole Batman Superman thing. That's the route they'll probably go. But I think the title is a very important thing that they're going to explore in this, because it really means two different things, especially coming from the comic book with the World's Finest. And that name went through many transitions in the comic book. I think it was World's Best or something like that, and just some other names that, probably not important to this video, but it went through quite a few changes. So that whole thing is going to mean something different than Man of Steel 2. So now let's get into some of the concerns and challenges that they're going to have making this movie. And the first and foremost, most obvious question is, who is going to play Batman? Now, Christian Bale, who played in the Dark Knight series, has already said he's not coming back. Chris Nolan has already pretty much confirmed that he's done with that series, and I doubt that any kind of relationship is happening between those two that would bring him back. And we're talking about a major paycheck to bring Christian Bale back and put them in a movie with Superman. So I seriously doubt it's him. There may be this small, minuscule chance that it could happen, but I seriously doubt it. I'm thinking that they're going to reboot Batman and they're going to establish a new person as Batman. So, which leaves the question, who is going to play Batman? Now, it's a big thing, because you know, it takes audiences a while to warm up to a new face for a superhero. I mean, it just happened with Henry Cavill. It actually took a year or two for everybody to kind of start believing. Once they made the announcement, like, okay, this guy's the new Superman, it went through that whole, I don't know, he doesn't really look like Superman kind of thing. And then, you know, of course, the movie turned out great. So the same thing is going to happen with Batman, but can this Batman Superman movie afford to not have a good character in place, a believable character up front that's going to go toe-to-toe with Superman in this movie? So I think that's a big challenge that they're going to have, and I think we're going to hear a little bit more about that, well, a lot more about that in the future online with who they're going to cast as Batman, because they're talking about putting this movie out in 2015. So that means shooting is going to have to start probably within the next 6 or 7 months. So they're going to have to make some pretty huge adjustments, and they probably already have in mind who they're going to pick to play, and they just haven't said it yet. But again, I think that's going to be one of the biggest challenges that we're going to face with Batman Superman movie. Now, the single greatest challenge, at least in my mind, in my opinion, that they're going to have with this movie is how they're going to make Batman compete with Superman. Now, let's face it, they're going to have a standoff of some sort in this movie. The world's finest comic, Superman, Batman, or whatever you want to call it, it's had many occasions. And matter of fact, in the comics, just in general, Superman and Batman have fought quite a bit. And before we go on, let me just clear something up. And I know there are a lot of fans out there of both characters, but let me just say this. Batman cannot beat Superman. I don't care what you say, just he cannot beat Superman. There's absolutely no way a human being with gadgets and batarangs and all of that stuff and, you know, just millions of dollars, and it's all cool, but he cannot, humanly speaking, he cannot go toe-to-toe with Superman and win without kryptonite or without some kind of whatever that weakens Superman. So let's just clear that up. Now that we've gotten that straight, Superman and Batman actually do fight a bit in the comic book, and there are a few occasions where people have made arguments where Batman has beaten Superman, but that's honestly really not the case. There's a poster that always goes around where you see Batman and he's punching Superman and Superman is flying back like that, and I guess people use that as an excuse that, he beat Superman once, he can do it again. No, it did not happen like that. Even the Comic-Con announcement that was made, that Henry Lennox read about the line from World's Finest that said, Clark, in all your days to come and all your private thoughts, I want you to remember my hand at your throat. I want you to remember the guy who beat you. If you actually read that comic, Batman does not beat Superman in that comic. There was anyway, I won't explain it to you. Go read it for yourself, but just believe what I'm saying. He did not actually beat Superman in that comic. Now, on the other side of that token, the times that Batman has beat Superman in the comics, which is very few times, very, very few times. It's always been some weird twist of something like, Green Arrow had a kryptonite arrow and shot Superman with it while Batman was evil, and, evil Batman tried to go take out Superman or something like that, and they end up fighting, to near death or something crazy like that. Just beyond the stretch of imagination, of course, for a movie, an on-screen movie. So, again, let's clear that up. But anyway, the challenge is they're gonna have to fight. They're gonna have to go toe to toe in this movie in some kind of way. So how are they gonna play that out? Who's gonna win? Everybody's gonna want to see that fight. So how are they gonna play that out? I don't honestly see. I can't fathom in my mind right now how they're gonna play that out. With the exception, of course, introducing kryptonite. Now, at the end of this video, I'm going to give my synopsis of what I think, how the movie is going to play out. So I won't say it now, but the only way to me that they can do that is introduce kryptonite in this film. So the third challenge that comes to mind is the fact of the release date. The release date is summer of 2015. Now, that means that Batman Superman is going to go toe-to-toe with Avengers 2, because Avengers 2 comes out in May. I think it's May 1st of 2015. So they're going to compete for the box office, and that's going to be a really, really interesting thing that happens, because Avengers 1 did so well. I mean, and by far it is the greatest comic book movie that's been made to date. I mean, you can't really argue with that. Marvel did a really good job with that. So people are going to see Avengers 2. That's going to happen. So they're going to compete with box office that summer. So there's going to, and Man of Steel will most likely come out, I would say in June. I don't think they've done an official release date yet, but I'm going to speculate and say it's going to be June of 2015. So they're going to compete for the box office that summer. So that means Marvel and DC will kind of actually, for the first time, be going head to head. And I'm really proud of DC because they've stood up. This move of Superman versus Batman, or Superman Batman movie, is really bold. It's a really upfront statement that says, you know what, we can do this too. We can make this happen. You know, we can do a universe movie and do it just as good or better than your Avengers movie. So I'm really proud of DC when it comes to that. So it's going to be really interesting to see what happens in the summer of 2015 with these two movies coming out probably a month apart. I think, yeah, Avengers 2 is May 1st, so you'll look at Man of Steel maybe around the same time you did this year, the same date of 2013, maybe June 15th or some 16th or something like that of 2015. So you're talking about a month and a half apart for these two movies. So it's going to be really interesting to see how that's going to play out. Now, some of the advantages that this movie has in its favor is, by far, Superman and Batman are the two greatest, biggest, most financially lucrative superhero comic book genre people ever. There's no argument with that, people. I don't care, Marvel fans, whatever. Iron Man has not had the same success as Batman or Superman or Spider-Man. None of them, Superman and Batman by far, are the biggest two superheroes alive. So they have that advantage. There's not a person on earth who is not going to see this movie in 2015. It's just not going to happen. Even the Marvel fans, you got to admit that the whole idea of Batman versus Superman, or Superman and Batman in the same movie, it's the whole idea of it itself is just mind-blowing. Everybody is going to see this movie. So, I mean, can you imagine opening night of this movie where all the Superman and Batman fans are standing in the movie theater lines in costume, and everybody has their Superman capes and shirts on and Batman mask and all this kind of stuff standing up? It's going to be completely amazing. There's not a person who is not going to see this movie, trust me. So they have that in their advantage for 2015 Batman Superman. Another advantage is they have a pretty great, awesome team working on this movie. Zack Snyder, the director, he did a really, really good job with Man of Steel 1. And, you know, he's the guy who directed 300 and movies like that. So he's really good with this kind of live action, gory kind of thing. And David Goyer, the writer, the same writer from Man of Steel, he's doing writing on this. I think he and Zack Snyder this time are co-writing. So that's an awesome synergy that they have going on right now. And my guess is, this is just speculation, is that Chris Nolan is still going to probably be involved some kind of way. Now, he wasn't directly involved with Man of Steel the way Zack Snyder and David Goyer was. He came in and gave creative input, and, you know, basically it was his whole idea to do it this way and this kind of stuff. So he had his fingerprint, as we call it, on this movie. I honestly think Chris Nolan is still going to be a part of this Batman, Superman behind the scenes person. I think he's still going to be that same way. It's just too good of an idea for him to pass up. I mean, and he's so good at it. He did the Batman trilogy, the Dark Knight trilogy, and he did an awesome job at it. Warner Brothers would be crazy not to get him involved in some kind of way. So anyway, they have an amazing team working on this movie, so they have that in their favor. Now, the last thing that's a really good thing about this movie is it's undoubtedly going to spawn, it's going to open up the door for a Justice League movie. It's inevitable, guys. It's really time for a Justice League movie, and if this movie does well, it's absolutely going to be a Justice League movie. So I think Warner Brothers has had a lot riding on Man of Steel, of course, and how well it did, and to see how far they were going to branch out with more reboots. I think as I'm making this video, there's a rumor going around now about a possible Flash movie that may start production or something like that. It's just rumor, so I don't really know that for sure. but they may start production on the Flash movie really soon. So the Justice League is coming, guys. It's on the way. As long as Batman Superman, I think, does really well, Justice League for sure. Now I want to give my theory of how they're going to do the plot of this movie. So here's what I see happening. I think they're going to continue the story as Man of Steel 2 ended. I'm sorry, Man of Steel, the first movie, ended. Clark is, for the first time, working at the Daily Planet. He and Lois have this, I guess, secret relationship that's probably going to continue. She knows who he is. That whole relationship is going to continue. They're probably going to use one of the Easter eggs that they put in the movie, or two of them actually, the Wayne Tech thing that they're going to probably venture out, and the LexCorp scene that they. If you don't know about that, just Google search or something, or YouTube search Easter eggs in Man of Steel. One of the things that we saw was the Wayne Tech logo on the satellite that was out of space while Superman and Zod were fighting. And the second one was the LexCorp logo that we saw on the building while Superman and Zod were fighting on the construction building. So anyway, I think they're going to play with that a little bit. So Bruce Wayne and Lex Luthor are going to team up, because Lex Luthor is, again, being introduced. He's probably not evil yet. He's just a billionaire or something with a lot of money, and so is Bruce Wayne. So you got to admit that that's kind of a common thing. Two billionaires or millionaires hanging out together. So they're probably going to get involved in some kind of building of some kind of thing or robot or whatever it is that they're building. There's probably going to be a discrepancy between Lex Luthor and Bruce Wayne. Something may happen where he kills Bruce Wayne's girlfriend or something like that. Bruce Wayne finds out about it, so he and Lex Luthor, they become enemies. And then Batman tries to kill Lex Luthor. Of course, Superman hears about this, and Superman, the not killing person, he's not going to let Batman kill Lex Luthor. So in his attempt to stop Batman killing Lex Luthor, he and Batman are going to fight. So that fight is going to play out. That's probably going to be one of the biggest things in the movie. It's probably going to play out over some time, or it's going to build up to that fight. And then the fight will be epic. That's going to play out. And then toward the end, they develop this truce and become friends. And then they both take on Lex Luthor together at the same time, while Lex Luthor has discovered kryptonite. Now, I think they're going to the way I think they're going to do that or explore that is use some of that Kryptonian technology that probably got left over on Earth after the General Zod fight in Man of Steel. So I think they're probably going to venture that, like his gear, General Zod's gear came off. They didn't show what happened to that, so that's Kryptonian technology. So I think they're probably going to explore that. Lex Luthor being the billionaire, he has money to make it happen, so he's going to get hold of some kryptonite, and Batman and Superman are going to team up to fight Lex Luthor at the end of the movie. And then they'll defeat Lex Luthor, and that's how the movie will end. Then in the credits, they're going to show at the end where, I don't know, Wonder Woman comes in some kind of way. They go into this Amazonian place where Wonder Woman is the Amazonian princess, and then she comes out some kind of way, or the Flash, or even Aquaman. It's weird to see how they're going to do Aquaman, but that's my guess for how they're going to do this movie. Okay, so I'm going to leave you guys with this, and it's a thought/theory that I have that actually may happen concerning this whole who's going to be casted to play Batman. As you may know, there's been a lot of talk lately about diversity when it comes to actors and actresses playing characters. When I say diversity, I mean whether or not they're male or female, their race, sexual orientation, or sexual preference rather, gay or straight, that whole kind of thing. So there's even been some speculation about some possibly doing some gay comic book superhero characters coming up in the future. So anyway, here's my thought about casting Batman. What if, just what if, they changed the character who's going to play Batman? What if he's a black guy? Now, just think about this for a minute. Now, my first choice for that would be Will Smith. Now, again, just go with me and think about that for a minute. Will Smith as Bruce Wayne. Will Smith already has this dapper, kind of suave thing like Bruce Wayne has. I think there's no argument, he's a terrific actor. He could definitely pull off that part. He has the body shape. Will Smith can buff up, he can get in shape. He's proven that time. And I think Will Smith just actually stays in shape, so who knows. But he can actually buff up to play Batman, put him in the suit. He looks really good in the suit. He can, he's active, he's athletic, he can do the stunts and everything. So what if they changed Batman's race to a black guy? Just think about that for a minute, and then let me know what you think about that in the comments below. I'd love to hear your thoughts on that and see kind of, how they should cast Batman, because I think they should leave options like that open when it comes to casting. And furthermore, that would be an absolutely bold statement coming from DC. In addition to doing this Batman Superman movie, it would be a completely bold statement. I mean, it would cause probably quite a bit of controversy, which controversy causes people to go see movies. That's a fact. So I wonder what you think about that. Again, just leave me your comments below in the comment section below. Also, if you guys want to follow me on Twitter, I'm at Terrence Fisher 1. That's my name spelled Terence, Fisher, Fisher 1. I'm at Terrence Fisher 1 on Twitter and Instagram, and you can also look me up on Facebook. So thank you guys for checking out this video. I'm going to be making some more videos as more news comes out soon about this Superman Batman movie. So stay tuned. If you like what you see, subscribe to my channel below, and I'll see you guys in the next video.